Hey guys, Yankee here, and today I'm going to be giving my thoughts on Tenchi Muyo OVA 2, Episode 5. This episode picks up right where Episode 4 left off, with Zero stabbing Tenchi, but actually she didn't, because obviously she can't. She just stabbed a pillow next to him, and at no point did he wake up or even notice anything was happening. No, he just was just rolling around in bed like nothing had happened. So Zero couldn't bring herself to kill Tenchi, goes to leave, and comes face to face with Washu. There's a chase. Basically, Washu runs down the steps as Zero tries to catch her. Because if Zero catches Washu and brings her to Clay, well then she doesn't have to kill Tenchi. So Zero grabs Washu, and we get like a gag where, I've caught you, and then we cut to a different shot where Washu is just off, leaning against the wall in the other side of the room. Then we cut back to Zero, and she's just holding a doll that looks like Washu now. And then eventually, Zero just takes off, and Washu, Aika, and Tenchi leave because they have to go and get Ryoko, who has been kidnapped again. And we get a moment here with Aika, who, in OVA 1, Ryoko was captured, and Aika was basically going to just let her go. She didn't care. And then eventually she goes to support Tenchi. Whereas here, Ryoko's been captured, and Aika's like, well, I guess I just gotta go save her. I gotta go help. So, a little bit of development there. They get into Ryo-Ohki, head off into space to Clay's ship, and Mihoshi is already there, firing at it, getting fired at, and then eventually crashes into the ship. Washu is basically just trying to find out where Clay's at, and then go straight there. Aika and Tenchi are impatient, and so they go down to help Mihoshi, who has just crashed. So Washu and everybody else is all split up. Washu goes directly to Clay, and Aika, Tenchi, and Mihoshi eventually get trapped in like a hallway. And so the rest of this episode is just Washu and Clay talking, and it's not good. I don't like Clay. He's not interesting. The whole dynamic he has with Washu isn't that entertaining, in my opinion. It just gets dragged out too long. But we do get a little bit of like history. Like, we know that they were both working at is it just called Galaxy Academy? Like the big like space university. I don't remember what it's called. They were both competing for like the same position within the school, and Washu apparently got it, and Clay was fired or something like that. And so he's holding a grudge, even though it's been thousands of years. We get a little bit, again, about Washu herself, too. We talk about Ryoko's gems, where Clay asks, like, what are they? Like, Zero couldn't copy them, and even Tokimi didn't know what they are. And Washu has no idea. She just says that they've been around since I was a kid. I don't know. They've just existed. And we also, I don't know if I was understanding this point right, and I'm skipping through my notes, and I'm going to get lost probably, but there's a point where they're talking about like Washu's past, and she just has no recollection of anything from before 20,000 years ago, I think, or something like that. They kept talking about 20,000 years ago, and like, oh, I don't know, Washu just doesn't understand, so I assume they're talking about her memories. So Washu's old. Everybody in this show is old, like thousands of years old. Let me see. Clay says he wants Washu to take to Tokimi, and Washu doesn't know who that is. And she's surprised that he is, referring to her as Tokimi-sama. And then they banter back and forth. Washu is just annoying Clay. Zero pops up, and Clay basically says, all right, kill them. And Zero turns on Clay, and we get like this big speech of how, oh, you're supposed to be loyal to me no matter what. But Ryoko's feelings for Tenchi are so powerful that they like overpowered Zero's programming, and now Zero's so in love with Tenchi she will turn on Clay. And Clay says, like, you're just a robot, I'll wipe your memory, don't worry about it, like, everything will be fine. And then she, like, shoots at him. And then Clay, he had, like, a ring that he activates that causes Zero to just, like, pass out. So, Zero's passed out. He managed to get Washu trapped. Oh yeah, but then Zero freed her. Alright. Again, I'm all over the place. Washu's free. Clay, learning that he can't really do anything, decides to just run. Like, my robot turned on me. I can't get Washu, like, locked up, so I can't really bring her to Tokimi. I'll just bail. And then he, like, jettisons off a part of the ship. Like, he, like, splits it in 3, I believe. There's, like, an escape pod that he's taking off in. There's the head of the ship, which, again, because his ship looks like a woman with, like, a long flowing dress and stuff. That part pops off, and I think that's where Washu and Ryoko and Zero are at. Because the way he ends up escaping from Washu is basically like, hey, the other ship with Tenchi, Mihoshi, and Aika, yeah, that's about to implode, and you can save them if you want, but whatever. And then he leaves, so Washu's preoccupied with that, Ryoko's stuck in a jar, and then Aika, Mihoshi, and Tenchi get sucked into a black hole. And just last episode we were talking about how Tenchi can't reactivate his Lighthawk wings, and now suddenly he's in this situation where like instinctually, I guess, they sort of activate, and he saves everybody. And it's ridiculous. He just pulled 3 human beings out of a black hole. Impossible. But he did it. So Clay sees this and says, well, I didn't get Washu. I can inform her of this, though. That she'll like this information. This guy just sprouted Lighthawk wings out of nothing. But then Ryo-Ohki catches Clay, and this whole thing is resolved, and it just feels like kind of a waste of time. Like, Clay is not interesting. There wasn't, like, an interesting battle like there was with Kageto in the first season. It's just, like, the black hole is interesting, right? Tenchi producing these Lighthawk wings to save everybody, that's cool. There was no real action here. And so, like, Clay is just, like, it's just all banter between Clay and Washu, and it takes up too much of the episode. I don't like it. Clay gets captured, and Mihoshi is arresting him. Zero doesn't know what to do, and so Washu basically crafts this lie for, I guess, everybody else. Like, she knows the truth, Zero knows the truth, Ryoko knows the truth. I guess it's just for Tenchi and Aika and everybody else's sake, where Washu decides that she's going to make Ryoko and Zero sort of assimilate, right? Again, I talked about this during the Sasami and Tsunami episode, where Kazushima loves to do his assimilation stuff. So, Washu's going to combine Ryoko and Zero, and she made up this lie that, oh, Clay isn't so smart that he could replicate something that I created, so this is actually a piece of Ryoko that he mind-controlled, or something like that. So, Ryoko sort of calls Washu out on this. It's like, what are you talking about? It doesn't make any sense. And we have like a little talk between the two of them in their mind, because I think it was last season that they mentioned that they're connected. Like, Ryoko's connected to Ryo-Ohki, and then Washu's connected to Ryoko. So they're like speaking to each other in their minds and stuff. And Ryoko sort of gives in, right? So Zero will become a part of her. It's going to, I guess, I forget how it's explained exactly, but it's like, these are your real emotions that you sort of bottle up inside, even though she doesn't really. Like, she's always all over Tenchi, but I guess it's more like a facade, and like deep down she's just sort of like shy and meek, and so this would be sort of like help break down the space pirate part of her, I guess. Like, I don't know. It's supposed to help her in some way, and so they assimilate, and that's that. And then we get, at the end of the episode here, we get set up for season 3, which won't come for like 6 years or something ridiculous. we get... what do I got here? Tokimi is after Washu and Tsunami. So the final scene here is Tokimi and the guy who watches over this part of, like, this universe, sort of talking back and forth. It's like, all right, there's Washu. Who is this boy that just reversed a black hole and can create Lighthawk wings? Washu's there, Tsunami's there, and then we see, like, a silhouette of a man with 5 Lighthawk wings around him. And that's sort of our tease for Season 3, which won't be for a long time. Anyway, this OVA is not even over. We have one more episode. This feels like a final episode kind of thing, but nope, we've got one more episode after this. These 2 episodes are okay. I just don't like Clay. And everything, like, when it's just Zero doing her thing, it's fine, it's fun, it's enjoyable Tenchi stuff, but, like, Clay sucks. He's not interesting, he's not, like, we didn't get, like, an interesting fight out of it. Like, if he sucked, but there was a cool fight, or just anything, then it could have made up for it. Like, I don't, like, love Kagato either. I don't think the villains in this series are ever particularly good. But, like, good things came out of Kagato, right? Like, we got interesting fights and interesting sort of interactions and stuff. Even though I don't care about Kagato himself, like, the things that came from him being a character were good. The same can't be said for Clay at all. He just sucks. Yeah, that's it for this video. Thanks for watching. Next time we'll be doing the final episode of OVA 2. I'll see you guys then.